Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in today's video we are going to be talking about the match between Barcelona and Real Madrid, and in this match Barcelona has lost 3-1. So in this video I'm not going to really edit this video because usually when we do lose in this way or we have a very bad match, I don't really like to take my time on editing because I do want to get my thoughts out there and put these videos out as soon as possible. But the way that I am going to organize this video is that I am going to be talking about the first half, the second half, and then the overall feeling of this whole game. So first things first is that I'm going to go through the lineup. I think that when we did see this lineup, it was very unexpected, it was very surprising, and it was because of two reasons. One, it was because Jordi Alba was starting in this game. I was expecting to see something like Dest on the left back position and Sergio Roberto on the right back position, but that wasn't the case. Ronald Koeman said we're going to use Jordi Alba as soon as possible. The other reason why this was so surprising and unexpected is because we did see one player, and that one player was Pedri. And Pedri was certainly a player that was not expected to start against a team like Real Madrid. And because Pedri was in this lineup, that meant that two players under the age of 18 were going to go up against Real Madrid, which was Ansu Fati and Pedri. And I really do appreciate Koeman's boldness within this lineup because he does know what's at stake. And for him to do this is not a bad thing. This is exactly what we do want to see, right? Because we want our coach to introduce a new Barcelona. And in order to do that, you have to make moves similar to this. So going into the first half, I'm going to continue to talk about the lineup because I think that many people were assuming that we were going to see these players in their regular positions, which is to see Coutinho in the middle, Messi plays a striker, Ansu Fati on the left, and Pedri on the right. But that wasn't the case in this game. When the game did start, we did see Messi playing as a central attacking midfielder where Coutinho plays. Coutinho play on the left wing, Ansu Fati play as a striker, and Pedri play on the right. And there was a big reason why Ronald Koeman chose to position these players in those specific positions. Because throughout this half, we started to see that the only reason why Koeman placed these players in those positions is because of Nacho. That was the player that Koeman really wanted to target. And it was because of two reasons. One, it was because it was going to allow Coutinho, De Jong, and Alba to attack Nacho, which would lead them to creating the most chances. And Koeman was very well aware that one of Madrid's biggest weakness was on their right side, which was Nacho. And the other reason why Koeman positioned them in that way is because Barcelona wanted to keep the ball on their left side. If that ball went on their right side, that would mean that players like Vinicius and Mendy will be seeing more of the ball, which would allow us to potentially concede a goal. And that is exactly what Barcelona do not want. So Barcelona did try their best to keep that ball on the left side. And later in the game, those results did show. So in the 5th minute, Valverde did score, and it was because of the ridiculous positioning from Gerard Piqué. But then 3 minutes later, we did see Ansu Fati score his goal. What was the reason behind it? It was because on the left side, Ronald Koeman positioned Coutinho, Ansu Fati, De Jong, and Jordi Alba in a certain way in order to make this chance happen. And because Ansu Fati did score that goal, he has officially become the youngest El Clasico scorer ever, and he has also tied the record for most goals ever scored by a player under the age of 18 years old within La Liga. And I really do want to applaud Ansu Fati for this moment because he did receive an award before the game did start. He did receive the Player of the Month of September, and for him to put out these records immediately right after he was given these awards, that only tells us that Ansu Fati does bring greatness to the pitch and to Barcelona. So I do applaud Ansu Fati. What a great player. I'm happy to see that Fati continues to show that he can be convenient when Barcelona continue to struggle. And so the one thing that I do want to give massive amounts of credit to Ronald Koeman for is how progressive Barcelona really is. I think that in the first 30 to 40 minutes, we did see Barcelona be very progressive, and you felt that intensity on the pitch. And you can see that Barcelona were trying. They wanted to score. Many players like Busquets, Coutinho, De Jong, Messi, Ansu Fati were very progressive in their runs, in their passes, and in their body movement. But it was a very even match. Madrid did show up as expected. Regardless of what did happen against Cadiz and Shakhtar, Real Madrid knew one thing. They wanted to show up against Barcelona at the Camp Nou. And I do want to fast forward towards the 23rd minute. I think that that was the moment that Messi should have capitalized after beating Ramos, but unfortunately, he was not able to put that ball behind the net. And this is the thing, right? This is exactly what I really do not want to see, because those are the chances that you have to put in. Yes, when you are in that moment, it may not seem as important, but when you look at the overall score and you've seen how everything played out, if you go back to that missed chance from Lionel Messi, many people are going to say, man, I really do wish Messi put that in. And that is why it is so important. And this is only showing us that Messi continues to show that he is just not clinical enough in front of the goal. Can he get back in form? He could, but right now at the moment, Messi is not at that level. Fast forward towards the 27th minute, we did see a very controversial call between Messi and Casemiro, where many people were suggesting that this was supposed to be a penalty, but apparently to the ref, he said that it was not a penalty because Casemiro did target the ball and then Lionel Messi. If it was Casemiro targeting Messi and then the ball, it would have been a completely different story. But I'm going to let you guys decide, was that a penalty or not? And now I do want to fast forward towards the second half, and this is where everything is going to go all over the place, because I think that with me talking all over the place and me talking about multiple topics going forward, this is exactly how I'm going to sum up Barcelona in those last 20 to 30 minutes. They were all over the place. So going into the 63rd minute, Ramos did gain a penalty. He did score that goal, and Madrid were 2-1 up. Again, another very debatable and controversial call from the ref. I don't know exactly what the ref was seeing. Was he looking at how Lenglet was pulling that shirt, or how Ramos did fall on the ground? What was the reason for that call for it to become a penalty? And the fact that we continue to see the ref go to the VAR and ask them what exactly happened, this is why every time we do encounter a Clásico, you must have a very experienced ref. Like, no wonder Barcelona were complaining that this was going to be the ref that was going to be refereeing this Clásico, because we were going to see a ref that is completely new and potentially might make the wrong calls. But again, I do want to ask you guys, do you think that the ref was making the right calls in this game? Many people have suggested that the ref was going against Barcelona. Many people were saying that Madrid paid the ref, but I am going to get off the lane where there is a theory that the ref allowed Barcelona to lose 3-1. I'm not going to talk about that nor go through that lane. What I am going to talk about is how we need to be more self-accountable. And what I mean by we, I mean Barcelona. What could have Barcelona done better in order to prevent this loss against Real Madrid? I think that Barcelona should have taken their chances. For example, Messi earlier in the game, after Messi did beat Ramos, he should have scored that goal. I think that we should have been much more precise in those last 25 minutes, but apparently we were not. As for Busquets' performance, there were pros, there were cons. I think that he was very progressive, way more than before, but he did lack precision in his passes in those last 20 minutes. I also think that the substitutions were completely unnecessary only because of one thing. It was way too frequent, because when you have that many amount of substitutions within a game in a very short period of time, that is going to deteriorate the rhythm of the whole game, and that is exactly what we did see in those last 10 minutes. I think that only one sub should have been made within this game, and that one sub should have been Trincao or Dembele for Pedri, because as I was watching this game, I think that we did need a player that was able and capable enough to beat the deep block that Real Madrid were building in their half. And the last one is going to be Piquet's performance. I really do think that Piquet is a great spokesperson. He really does know how to put a message out there, but on the field, it is a completely different story. Koeman does need to try something different. We cannot continue to see Piquet make these type of mistakes on the field. I think that Lenglet played extremely well, but as for Piquet, there needs to be a change. We have a player named Araujo. Araujo needs to be implemented more throughout this season, because what's currently going on with Piquet's form is not getting better. So looking at that big list that I have just made, I think that if we were to improve on those aspects of the game, Barcelona would perform much better than they did in tonight's match. And it would be to the point where not even the ref will be able to supposedly save Real Madrid. And now I do want to quickly talk about what went right in this game. One of them was Serginho Dest. I believe that Serginho Dest had a great game, and even though he did have a great game, after the match, he was actually the only person that talked after the game immediately, and he said this: "It was my first Clásico and I'm pissed that we lost." And that is a great attitude to have. The fact that you had one of the best performances on that pitch today and still say that you are pissed that you lost, that is the type of attitude we do need within Barcelona. So great job to Serginho Dest. I also do want to applaud Felipe Coutinho for being the only real outlet in attack in those last 20 to 25 minutes. And the last player I do want to congratulate is Lenglet. The amount of times this player has recovered the ball in this game is completely amazing. I love what Lenglet is bringing to Barcelona. I think that his partner, Gerard Piqué, like what we talked about before, is not cutting it. But as for Lenglet, he needs to be a for sure starter for Barcelona. Barcelona going forward. The only thing he does need is a great partner right next to him, which could be Araujo. Lenglet should remain as a Barcelona player. And now I do want to talk about the final verdict of this game. Here's the thing. Real Madrid played well. They did bring their game to Barcelona. But I really do think that Barcelona had the edge in this game for the majority of the 90 minutes. And when you do have that edge against a big team like Real Madrid, you are not expected to lose 3-1. I just think that this was a game where we did do many things right, but we did not just capitalize off of the hard work that it took to get to the opposition's box. And so something does have to change. I think that we cannot continue to see Barcelona play this well and then end in this way. And with this loss that Barcelona has encountered, where does Barcelona go from here? What does Koeman need to do next? What does he need to improve on? I have made a list. Could it be that he needs to implement Antoine Griezmann more into this game? Should Koeman concentrate on Messi's fitness going forward to have him become more of a clinical Lionel Messi? What does Koeman need to do next? I think that it is safe to say that the only two players that has really been serving Ronald Koeman well is Ansu Fati and Felipe Coutinho. But as for the rest, they have been extremely average. But even the fact that they have been extremely average, that is not enough in order for us to be very competitive against the top level teams like the Bayerns, the Liverpools, the Cities, and many other teams out there in Europe. But on the bright note, we are still very early in this season. I'm glad that we are seeing all of these mistakes being made within the first 2 or 3 months. Now we have to focus on how is Koeman going to react from this? How are the players going to react from this? Who's going to be making that step down? And keep in mind, there were controversial calls throughout this whole game, but I am not going to give my energy or blame the ref for those decisions. Barcelona themselves need to be more accountable and we need to improve. So our next game is going to be against Juventus. Next week, I am going to be covering that match on what Barcelona can do better and what Barcelona can do that they did not do against Real Madrid. But let me know what you guys do think about this match. What did you like? What did you not like? Obviously, this loss is going to put us further on the league table. Massive amounts of works do need to be done, and hopefully we do that. So again, I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. That'll be it for today's Barcelona post-match review. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. I am going to be making other videos regarding the Real Madrid versus Barcelona match. I am going to be making a video on how Barcelona did lose against Real Madrid, and I am going to give my player ratings for Barcelona against Madrid. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.